Hey guys, welcome back to Really Living. I'm coming at you poolside today because my daughter wanted to swim while I do this video, so if I look that way, that's why. But welcome back. Today's episode is going to be about a simple way to make our life count. I was listening to a podcast this last week by Joyce Meyer, and it was really awesome. It had a little bit to do with what we're talking about today, and it was just a really good reminder. And it reminded me actually of something that happened to me about, I think, a year ago. I went to the grocery store after a Sunday morning. We were coming home from church and we just needed something small for lunch. And I run into the grocery store, I grab that thing, I get in line, and I'm trying to just kind of hurry, I'm hungry. And we're waiting in line and there's a lady behind me and she has a rotisserie chicken. And I can smell it and it smelled so good. And I was like, man, that smells so good. And I kind of just sparked a little conversation with her and she's like, oh yeah, something quick, something easy. And I'm like, yes girl, like that's how I roll, quick and easy, I'm all about it. And so we kind of just talked. She was a super nice lady, big smile. And then we go about just waiting in line. So as we're waiting in line, I have this thought that comes to me to pay for her chicken. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, I mean, Lord, that chicken's not that expensive. And you know, she really doesn't necessarily look like someone in need. Like, I don't know, like, should I do it? Should I not? So I turn to her and I say, hey, you know what? I would just love to buy your lunch for you today. And just to bless you. And she was like, no, don't even worry about it. Like, I'm good. And at this point I'm like, oh, I feel dumb. And she's like, no, you know what? You should give that money to the hurricane victims. And this was actually a time where, you know, some hurricanes were happening. And I was like, no, you know, I just came from church and I actually gave to the hurricane victims already. And I just want to buy your lunch. And at this time, it's like my turn to pay. And so I'm at the register and the guy's just kind of like looking at me, looking at her, and kind of just waiting for her answer. And all of a sudden, she just breaks down in tears. And I'm thinking, oh no, like I did not see this coming at all. And the clerk is looking at me like, what the heck did you do? And I'm like, well, just get the chicken. And I turn to her and I'm like, I'm sorry, is everything okay? And she was just weeping and she finally took a deep breath and she said, you have no idea. I have been at the hospital all day, all night with my mom who's dying. And it has been so hard. And at that point, I'm like, oh man. So I pay and then I would just go to the side. I pull her to the side and I'm like, I'm so sorry. You know, I really believe that God just put this on my heart to do for you because he wants to remind you that he's with you and that he sees what you're going through. And she was like, you know what? I really believe that. I really believe that. This is really what I needed. And I just asked if I can pray with her really quick. And I kind of just, you know, said a short prayer for her and we parted ways. Now I tell you that story not to make myself look good because the truth is 95% of the time when I go into the grocery store, I have a list in hand or in my mind. I have charted a course how to get through the grocery store the fastest way possible. And I go to the self-checkout line to make it as fast as possible to get in and to get out. And so this day was such a wake-up call for me. It was such a reminder that there are people all around me all the time who I don't know what they're going through, but God does. And he actually wants to use me to encourage somebody, to help somebody, to serve somebody, to make a difference in somebody's life. So here's a simple way to live a life that counts. Love God, love people. Jesus talks about this in Matthew 22, that the most important thing is to love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all of your soul. But the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. When we love God and receive his love, his goodness, his mercy, his compassion, it changes our life. But then we don't stop there. Then we are supposed to give that love, that mercy, forgiveness, compassion to other people. And when we do that, we make a difference in someone else's life. But in turn, we experience purpose and fulfillment on the inside of us. I know you have felt that feeling when you do something nice for somebody, when you serve somebody or help somebody, that feeling you get on the inside. You feel like $1,000,000. You feel good because God has created us to be like Him. And God is love. And when we start walking in love, when we start loving other people, we actually experience more of God. And if I could shift my mindset from all about me to all about we, I could actually tap into purpose. So I encourage you to consider your sphere of influence, consider your family, your workplace, your friends, your grocery store, your neighbors, and think of ways that you can be a blessing to somebody else. Let's do something to make our world a better place, because we all know that this world is straight up crazy and they need what we have. They need the God we have. They need the love we have on the inside of us. They need to see Jesus, and the way they see it is through us. So let's live beyond ourselves and make our lives count.